So today we're going to talk about my story and my experiences. Through this, hopefully you can relate and you can understand a bit more about myself and probably why I am the way I am. So yeah, let's get straight into it. This is my story. So I grew up with my mother in Spain called Julie. She left home at a really young age due to her father passing away, and yeah, she basically went off the rails at some point and moved to Tenerife and Spain eventually as well after that. I'm trying to break this down, make it short for yourself. Yeah, she basically was a sales rep. She worked as an OPC in timeshare, and I used to watch my mom jump out the car and have to get families in the car, and what she would do is obviously take them to the resort and they would sell her timeshare. My father left at 2 and unfortunately passed away last year. I didn't actually get to spend any time with him, so I've never really had a father myself. So I feel like this is maybe something that can help a younger guy out there, you know, that doesn't have a father in place, just to show you that, you know, despite your background, you can get to a fairly okay place in your life. And not to say it won't still affect you, because it will, but yeah, it's not an excuse on why you should be a failure. And my mom was a really, really hard worker, a single mother. Unfortunately, she went into alcoholism. As my father left, he used to beat her physically, and one of the only memories I have of my father is actually him dragging her across the floor as a kid. It's the only clear memory I really have. Yeah, I basically grew up around horses and stables, so it was very female orientated. There wasn't many guys in horse riding, unfortunately, but yeah, I grew up in that sort of environment, you know, having to muck out horses and yeah, being around animals a lot, which I'm very grateful for, because they're the best thing on earth. They understand you, they don't judge you. Yeah, grew up with horses. From there, let's fast forward a little bit. And yeah, schooling was, I started off in private school, then I slowly went into public school. From there, it got a bit tougher as my mom went into alcoholism, as I mentioned. She drank a lot and unfortunately used it as a way of escapism, which I really do understand. At the end of the day, she was just doing the best that she could in that situation. She would get so drunk that I'd have to put her in the car sometimes and have to figure out how to get her home. I'd have to wake her up and get her out the bed just to go to school, which was, you know, quite tough. So once I finally hit my teen years, that's when it got really hard. We had no electric in the house. We were really struggling. I was faced with a lot of poverty, unfortunately. We had social services come into the house. I wouldn't be eating a lot, unfortunately. I'd have to figure out how to make my own meals. I was left at home a lot as a kid. I used to remember the sound of her car coming back because she'd come back late. Even just the smell of alcohol, even when she jumped out the car outside the apartment block. So yeah, that's kind of like an understanding of where I've come from and where my journey started. From there, unfortunately, I did end up taking a similar path as my mother. So at 12, I started drinking alcohol in high school. I repeated a year, which left me very bitter about life. From there, I just progressively got worse and worse. I went out every weekend, basically stayed at other people's houses because I didn't want to go home. I sought comfort wherever I could in other people's families and realized obviously that's their own family, not mine. I always thought I was the only person with problems in my family. I grew up with a very, very big victim mentality, unfortunately. So by the age of 16, 17, I'm heavily into partying. I'm selling pills, I'm selling weed. I had 15 plants in my bedroom. I was a drug dealer. I thought I was on top of the world. I thought nothing could stop me. And yeah, just not hanging around the right people that really cared about me, unfortunately, which subconsciously you do know when you're living in that lifestyle. Constantly being paranoid as well, because I'm smoking and I'm drug dealing. So at some point I'm thinking I'm going to get arrested, which I did get caught. I got caught quite a few times, to be honest. I can go into that in another story. By 17, I was around 60 kilos, extremely skinny, partying as much as I could, letting it out. And then I got extremely lucky because I met my partner, Courtney. Before that, I was a complete, as we say, fuck boy, did not care about women's emotions, and I slept with anything that could fucking move, especially because I was heavily intoxicated a lot of the time. I eventually met Courtney, built an amazing friendship with her first, And after that, my life slowly got better. So she ended up moving in with me. We slowly built a life together, which was, we're still together now. We're coming up to our 10th year. Yeah, moved in together, started working out. Fitness was an escape. Still obviously, doing bits and bobs here that weren't, too good for my life, but progressively getting more positive, which was a move forward. We were living out of a garage for a while, had multiple problems there with my mom, of course, her cutting off the electric. But anyway, we managed to save up enough money and found our first studio. This is when we finally got the freedom that we wanted. It was amazing. We moved into the studio. I started a labouring job. We're still juggling other things on the side, such as drug dealing. I then had a really big scare through it. I was set up by one of my close friends. I linked two people together. They tried robbing him and completely failed. They ran out the house with knives, and I was then lured back into that house, not knowing that anything happened. Which, this is when my life took a really big turning point, like a huge turning point. Because when I went into that house, I thought I was going there to see like some brand new bud, like some really nice stuff in my eyes. And the door just closed. Energy really fucking changed. And I was made aware that what happened. And then from there, I was told that I was going to be taken out to the woods, and which left me shaking, left me, really realizing, look, I've just got lucky here, because obviously I was completely innocent. It was obvious by the way I walked in that the lad figured it out. And yeah, but it still left me scared enough to stop being in that lifestyle. It made me value my family. It made me value Cookie, Courtney, and really realizing that, you only get one shot of this. So stop that. I kept with labouring and furniture removals. I put all my time and energy into that. I was progressing, doing well for myself, to be honest, but really realizing that construction wasn't for me. Like some of my friends, they were born into it, but yeah, it just wasn't for me. I remember seeing a real estate agent walking through a house and thinking, yeah, I could do that, because I'm quite an outgoing person and quite friendly. So yeah, that's kind of like my journey to the real estate position. So I then showed up outside an agency every single day until the guy gave me a job. He was a great boss. I learned a lot from him. Not holding all the same values, but I do still value the things that he taught me. From there, I was headhunted to a startup real estate agency. They were doing really bad, managed to turn it around, and yeah, got them out of the shit, really, to be honest. It was, quite a big moment in my life, and that was only just over a year ago. So yeah, started making 10K months. From there, I thought, right, I really want to progress to 100K months. Now I sit and look at that and think, bloody hell, I should have just kept with the 10K month idea, because 100K months is insane. But it's still one of my dreams. I still want to hit that, even if it's just once. And I'm not actually too focused on the money. I've now moved myself all the way to Australia. I used the money that I made through real estate to fly my dog over. Could have bought a Rolex, but I didn't. I've got an expensive fucking dog, as you can tell. But that is my Rolex. I bought my dream car when I got here. It was like an emotional roller coaster. So we were like this when we got here, and then it slowly just went boom, like this, and slowly went down. It slowly got harder and harder. Finally found some work. Worked at a real estate agency for 3 months. Managed to get 4 months and managed to get 3 listings. It's all about listings over here. I'd love to touch on more of these subjects into depth, but I'm just trying to give you an idea of my story. Progressed to another agency. Really didn't like the environment or the culture that they were pushing through. It was a lot of social media, but not actually doing the work behind the scenes, which I don't agree with. I really hold myself to a high standard with who I put my time into. As long as I see that you're trying and making the effort, i.e. with your health and your habits, I'm there to support you. But if you're going to be someone that makes excuses with these things, I'm going to slowly separate myself, because when you're young, these things do affect you. The people you hang around with, they end up becoming your normality. So for you to change, you've got to change who you're around and who you spend your time with. It's one of the biggest things that will fuck you over in your 20s. Yeah, unfortunately, while all of this was happening, my mum passed away. Luckily, we spent a month and a half with her before we left. So yeah, it was honestly one of the hardest things, or still is. It's the hardest thing I've ever gone through. I miss her every day. I talk to her every day in my prayers. She's with me. I know she's with me. It doesn't feel real sometimes. I'm in the process of inheriting the property that she had. My long-term goal has always been a property investor. So not to say that I did that on my own, but I did go through a lot of suffering and hard work to potentially get this. I'm not going to say that this is the reason why, but I'm not going to be a spoiled kid either and be like, oh, I just inherited a property and became an investor. Like, I've been wiped out financially completely through it. It's completely taken on my savings, my investments. I'm in a place now where I'm currently unemployed. I'm still pushing for my online business, i.e. my YouTube, and I'm slowly building a website. I've just created an email funnel, and I really just want to get back into real estate and find the right company. I've had a few interviews at Kaloshi, but I'm maybe realizing that I'm not of caliber just yet, and I need to get some experience, which is completely fine. But I'm going to keep trying, I'm going to keep failing, and I'm going to keep showing up and making the effort. I've only got 10 more seconds to get this out, but I'm really grateful for you if you've watched this video, if you can relate to this. This is my experience, this is my journey, and this is my story. So thank you for watching.